today's video I'm going to be making a brake servo delete type of thing to do away with the brake servo on the Mongrel. Reason being, I feel like it gives too much assistance and takes away a lot of the feel of the brakes. My previous cars have always run with no servo assistance, so I'm just used to that heavier pedal, but I think it gives you better feel of the brakes. The last raffle I did for the MP200, just want to say thanks to everyone who entered that. That was won by Brian Purcell, so congratulations to Brian on winning that. I'm now going to do another one. So for this one, the winner's going to get a brand new Bester 190C MIG welder, a flex angle grinder, Urchfab stickers included, nice little grinder, a Lincoln Viking welding helmet, top of the range. Oh, what's this? Ooh, an Urchfab t-shirt. A range of cutting, grinding, finishing discs, Sharpie, metal scribe, Urchfab dice kit to practice on. There'll also be welding gloves, earplugs, safety glasses, and a roll of wire for the MIG welder. All the welding kits come from Inverter Fusion Limited. I got this off of Barry from ebrasives.com. He's a local guy. I wanted to just put together a complete kit for someone who's never welded and that thinks, oh, I wouldn't mind getting into it or having a go at it. It's amazing what you can do, the things you can fix or make with just a welder, a grinder. You can do a lot of stuff with not a lot of gear. So anyway, that is all the details for that are in the description, and thanks to everyone who gets involved in these. It's one of the ways that I fund the projects and the channel. Unfortunately, this one is UK postage only. The next one, I promise I will do something smaller that I will post anywhere in the world. So link is in the description for that if you're interested. Alright, so I've done a bit of internet research, and what a lot of people will do is just remove the servo and then remount the master cylinder without the servo in place and re-drill the pivot point on the brake pedal so that you've got a bit more leverage on the pedal, so you get a bit better feel of the brakes. Otherwise, if you just remove it and bolt this in place, you've got to push the pedal too hard. And then to sort the brake bias out, I've just bought one of these cheapy valve things off eBay, which just go in line to the rear brakes, and then you can adjust the pressure by winding this in. In equals more pressure to the rear brakes, which when I got this I was sort of scratching my head a bit of how it was actually working. I thought that maybe this just wound down and it was like a needle type valve restricting the flow. So anyway, I took it apart to see how it's working, and inside here you've just got a piston with a spring, and all you're doing is adding pressure to the top of this piston, which is backed by a spring. So when this is fully out, when you apply the brakes, it's going to allow that piston to travel upwards into the spring, and it's going to relieve some of the pressure that's going to the back brakes. The more tension you put on this spring and the piston, the less that piston can move and the more pressure can then travel to the rear brakes. So it's a very simple way of doing it. This was very cheap off eBay. I'll put a link if it's something that you're needing to do. I think it's like 15 quid or something. So from the example that I found, they re-drilled this hole, so this is the pivot, this is where the this piece bolts on, so that is like your pivot point from there to there. So they move this up and it looks like it's just below the line of where the spring connects. So that's going to increase the leverage on the pedal, but that means that I need to move this up in comparison to where it would bolt in through the bulkhead. This is the basic plates I need to plasma cut. So this top one is just going to be the plate that's going to bolt straight onto the back of that, obviously. This bottom piece is the plate that's going to bolt to the bulkhead, and then the 41mm hole, which would have been this hole on the original, I'm going to move it up 20mm from the center point, and then I can mark my pedal 20mm up to gain that extra leverage, and then I know everything's going to line up. I'm going to use a piece of tube in between these two holes to connect the two. Painted up, ready to go. Nice. Oh yeah. I drilled the thread out in here just so that I could use a normal pitch bolt because the other piece wasn't long enough, and then I've just smoothed off this bit, which is what sits into the master cylinder, and rounded off the end. Now I've just got to connect my pedal, which all lines up nice, and then just take all the slack out of the pedal so there's no like free play in it. But I'm going to take that back out and just put a bit of grease on the end of that plunger bit. Alright, that's all back together. And now I just need to mount this on there, and then it's going to feed into this valve and then out of the valve into the feed of the hydraulic handbrake. So the hydraulic handbrake will still have full pressure. It won't be affected by this because this will be in the feed line to the handbrake cylinder, so it will be drawing the fluid through, and this will be the high pressure side going out to the back brakes. But then when you're just pressing the foot brake, it bypasses this and just goes straight through. So I'll get a bias on the foot brake but not on the handbrake. Alright, so that's all plumbed in, and I've bled the brakes. Pedal feels really good, really solid. So yeah, I just need to rip it up the road and give it a test now. Alright, so I've just taken the car out for a little blast. It's wet and rainy. The brakes feel so much better. You can just feel when the tyres are about to lock and really like push the point. You can push right to the limit of where they're about to lock, whereas with the Servo before, for me, I could just had no feeling of that, where that point was. So I'm really happy with that. I'll probably make a few of those little mount things if anyone out there is wanting to do the same thing or is having the same issue. So once I've got some made up, I will list them on my eBay shop. I'm going to be back on track next week. I'm not 100% sure which car I'm going to take yet. I wanted to take the Escort, but I'm still waiting for a part to turn up for that. So unless that turns up in the next couple of days, I'm not sure that would be ready. So might end up taking the old Mushy P. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be the hopefully be the next video after this one. There'll be some more track action. Link in the description for the raffle details if you want to, if you're interested in that. It's going to be it for this one. Cheers for watching. See you on the next one.